Hey everyone, we're here today with a 2006 Pontiac Vibe. This is a 1.8 liter 1ZZ FE engine with the automatic transmission. We are replacing the lower control arm on the driver's side, and as most of you will know if you're watching this already, the front bushing bolt cannot come out without the transmission being raised. We also coincidentally have a very worn out transmission mount in this car. So we're going to replace the mount and the arm together. What we've already done is we've raised the car, taken the tire off, taken the plastic splash shield off, and removed the battery and tray, and now we're going to remove the airbox. MAF sensor. Just going to get a 10mm bolt holding the bracket on. Take this cover off over here. Now we've got to the lower airbox. It's going to be 3 10mm bolts to get those out. We should be able to pop this clip open. And it looks like there's just one tab here. Push down. And there we go. Box is out. To get this large bolt out of the bushing, it's going to need to come all the way back, and it's going to hit this battery tray. It's 4 10mm bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Give them some penetrating fluid before you start moving them, as they probably haven't been moved in a while or ever on your car, and they may break. Okay, so to get this mount off, we're gonna support the transmission with a jack and a block of wood. Before we do that, we're just gonna loosen the 5 bolts that need to move here. They're all 14mm. One here. You can't get anything in there, so we're going to have to use a wrench. Lastly, we'll loosen this one up. One more thing before we start removing this mount. This harness is attached to that clip. You can try moving this tab. Eventually just put a small pry tool in there and wiggle it up. That's what it'll look like on the new mount there. Okay, so we've got the car supported on the transmission pan with a block of wood between it, and we're gonna start removing this mount. Oh, no. I'll take it. Periodically check on your jack. Mine has a tendency to go down a bit after some time. Okay, this is the last bolt holding the transmission up onto the body. Okay, now we're going to go in and remove the through bolt. You're going to need to hold it on the other side with another 14. It should lift out now. Here's this is the firewall side here, which we couldn't even see. You'll see there's a big split in the bushing there. So oh yeah. Okay, with that out, we can now see how much clearance we'll get on that bolt for the control arm. Is it going up? Kind of?
Yeah, I did.
Not enough. Moving nice now. Okay, so full disclosure, we did loosen this bolt earlier with a mallet and this 19 mil offset wrench. So while that's moving, it is still going to hit. We've gained some clearance, but not nearly enough. I'm going to try lifting this up a little more. And I'm feeling some resistance.
See, that's it.
I probably can't move this any more than it can go. So let's remove the next mount, which is the one right in the front. And we're actually not removing the mount, we were just removing the bushing bolt. And I'm pretty sure that is a 14 mil as well. Yeah, actually. Okay, so we're holding the nut side with a 14 and we're removing the bolt. Oh, I think it's... Oh, yeah, it's right there.
Lost it. Figure it out now. Stop.
Okay, let's see how much clearance we gain from that. Going up. That's still going. Oh. How much more do we get?
Quite a bit, actually.
That tang is really annoying. Got a piece sticking out there. Oh, we are so close. We only have the pan in the way, and it's just a lip of it. What was that?
Go for it.
Just a little. Like we're so close. I think it was just the amount it was hitting.
No movement. You do it like the tiniest little bit more.
Yeah.
Fine margins.
I think that can be done. Yeah. Yeah, we got it. 20.
Yeah? No?
I think so.
You're gonna scrape, but
I need. Look at that.
use one of your.
I can't use much at all. That's the because there's
No, not that. On the actual bolt itself, like the body of the bolt, not the head.
Oh yeah, some pliers.
Some
maybe.
pliers would do that.
Yeah. Maybe. It's still free. No subframe.
Nice.
Okay, so we're gonna take these 3/17s out, 2 nuts, 1 bolt. These are already loosened, but it took a 2-foot breaker bar and penetrating fluid to do it, so just beware before you start that. last one here is this 19 mil. Going straight up. Just putting some light in here to make sure it spins, and that the nut doesn't. And I can see that the bolt is moving, so that's good. Okay, and the nut is moving, so I'm going to assume that's a 19. Okay, so we put a 19 mil wrench there, and it's just going to hit. It's going to hit that subframe bushing, and it can stay right there. There's our nut. There's our bowl. Okay, with that, if you notice here, this transmission is sinking. Oh, great. Back up again. This arm should wiggle out now. Should. Sledge. Okay, the rear one is out of position. Now we just need to get this out of here. Sometimes a crowbar will help. Make this go faster.
There you go.
Ouch. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Sometimes this part's a pain in the ass to there, and then there. So. Yeah, you can see there's some serious breakage. Yeah, look at all the breakage in this bushing here, here. It's starting to separate from the sleeve as well here. So yeah, it's time for this one to go. usually takes a few attempts and sometimes a bit of bashing.
No finesse here.
Okay. I'm gonna bring it in that way first. Again, I'm not 100% sure, but I'll figure it out as we go along.
Down a little more. Okay. Now you're going back. There you go. Almost. A little bit more.
Okay, so this bushing is pretty kinked, but I'm going to take a long screwdriver and try to straighten this out in an attempt to not have to pull the arm out. There. I think I got it.
Yeah?
Yeah. While we're down there, let's send that rear bolt up just to keep this all in place.
Right here. Oh, it is.
All right, now I may have put this up too high to get this. Nope, I didn't. Okay, so for most of you, that nut should be still welded onto the subframe, but I'm gonna have to spin it down here by hand. I'm gonna use 2 rubber mallets because I don't want to hit it with anything metal. Okay, it's mostly visible. I'll pull it over with this screwdriver. Right now it's not going that great because it's the thing is, I'm trying it. There. Okay. Okay, so the bolt is partially through. And we're just gonna keep tapping it. And it looks like we are going to clear. We do have a bit of an issue here where it's on an angle, so we're gonna have to try to bring that down some if we're gonna get that threaded. Okay, so we're having a good bit of trouble getting this straight. Usually helps when the control arm is flush. So what we're gonna do to get some clearance to bring the arm up is remove the lower sway bar link. So we've got a 5mm Allen key, and what I've done is to just put a socket on a little ratchet to hold this here, and I've got a ratcheting 17mm wrench, and we're just going to wind that out. Okay, that can all come out. We can also get that out of the way. And now we should be able to get this much straighter and get that bolt in. I want to talk about this bolt for a quick moment. This was no fun. The clearance was not an issue at all. It was getting this bushing straight. You're gonna need a long screwdriver to line it up, to put that through all the way, wiggle it around so you can line up as much as you can. You need a crowbar to work this back and forth from below and above. It's really good to have a 19mm ratcheting wrench in here, so when you can do a lot of trial and error, and when it actually does catch, you can run it down quickly, like I've just done here. This was the longest part of this. I'm not gonna lie to you, tell you this was easy. This was probably a good 90 minutes on this one bolt alone. Hopefully I had better luck with it than I did, but we did get it in. Now we're gonna put the rest of this back together. You take a long screwdriver, pull that up through here. Make sure the bushing sleeve is aligned. We're also going to go back to our ball joint. Make sure that's ready to go back in. There we go. It's pretty easy to maneuver. And then the bolt. You can see it a little bit. Oh, I think I just got it straightened out. Yep. So we can get the nut on it there. We're gonna take our 19 wrench. We're gonna set that on the nut, tuck it right here against the subframe. And we're gonna tighten this up. We're only going to tighten it up a bit right now. We'll do the rest of it on the ramps when it's under load. Okay, that's good for now. Okay. Take our 17mm lock nut and get that back in here on our sway bar link. Okay, I undid the ball joint. Need a little more clearance here. I've got a 17mm ratcheting wrench, 5mm Allen key, and I'm just tightening this all back up. Okay, with all the bolts down below tightened up, it's time to get this new transmission mount put in. It's going to take a good bit of maneuvering to get this where we need it to be. Things have moved. So we're going to start with the bolt. Throw the nut on there. You don't have to tighten it up right now. I'm going to use this taper tool here and get it down one of the bolt holes to move it over. I'm going to try to get one of these in. I think I got it. It's not going in great though. So, managed to get this one in. By prying this bit with here, hitting it with the mallet. And it's going in without much resistance. If you find that the bolt is fighting you on its way down, stop because you're going to strip it. Okay, I think I have a way to get this third bolt in. I'm going to take a crowbar, pry towards the driver's side, and hope to hell this goes down. I think it's caught. It may not being straight, but let's see what we got. Feels like it's going. It's not going well, but it's definitely a little bit of tension on it, but I think it's gonna be okay. Okay, let's stop there. Okay. For the last bolt here, I had to turn it manually with an open wrench a few times until it worked its way in enough that I could put the ratcheting 14 mil on it. Now it looks like it's going in a little bit funny, but it's also pulling itself together as it straightens out near the bottom. I'll take that. Okay, so we got this bolt tightened up. We've got these all put back together, and we've put the through bolt back for the front mount. Now we're gonna get our airbox back on. Okay, once the box is back on, I'm gonna clip that. Let's bring this around. Okay, we're gonna need the air filter. And this top guy. Get that roughly into place. Actually, maybe before we do that, let's connect our sensors. 10 mil back. You probably don't have this hose. That is for the hood pin for the remote starter. This guy can go back in there, and then we've got 2 hoses to reattach. Slide the clips over. These ones are nice and light, you can do by hand. Since they're just for vacuum. You can get this one on the bottom here too. Okay, that looks like everything. Don't forget that you can try to hook this. You can try to hook this harness onto the new mount. Kind of goes. And the battery. Now what you should do, that we haven't done yet and that we will do, is we're gonna put this car up on ramps once it's running. And we're going to torque the control arm bolts to the factory torque spec. I don't think there's any reason to show that. I will post the specs in the video or in the description below. And I think that's it. This did take the majority of the morning and afternoon. 6 hours. Yeah. With some hiccups along the way, good 6 hours. So be prepared for that. Maybe you'll have better luck than I did, but this is done, and that's how you do a lower control arm on a Corolla Matrix Vibe without touching the subframe. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.